Am I the a-hole for wanting to leave my fiancé for not drawing boundaries with his mother? I, 26F, knew my MIL, 43F, before I ever met my fiancé, 27M. We met through church. She and I were actually friends. When I left an extremely toxic and abusive relationship with two small children in tow, she was one of the first people who stepped up to help. She let me and my kids stay at her house. Her son, the man who is now my fiancé, helped me move my things out of the old place. He didn't know me at all at the time, but still helped me carry my kids' things, pack up our lives, and made sure we were safe. That act of kindness was what first drew me to him. Eventually, I moved back to my home state to be closer to my children's father. Even after I left, my now fiancé and I kept in touch, and our bond grew stronger. 5 years ago, I moved back to his state so the kids could continue building a relationship with their biological dad. And since then, my fiancé and I have been together. I moved back in February 2020, and then COVID hit. We decided to move in together that July. By November, I found out I was pregnant. That's when everything with his mother started to change. At first, she pretended to be supportive. She smiled. She congratulated us. But it didn't take long for her true colors to show. One day, during a typical argument between me and my fiancé, just one of those hard moments you have during pregnancy, especially in lockdown with 2 other kids, she suddenly tried to kick me out. While I was pregnant with her son's child, with 2 other small children depending on me. That moment shook me. After our daughter was born, we didn't trust anyone to watch her. But when she got old enough to go to preschool, we decided to enroll her in the school where MIL worked. Eventually, I even took a job there for a year. But I ended up quitting due to issues with another staff member, someone the owner clearly favored, despite the fact that I reported her for putting her hands on a child. That was messy, and it was the start of many, many conflicts with my MIL. When I left the school, MIL continued to have my daughter Sunday through Wednesday evenings for convenience. We figured it was temporary. But she started acting like my daughter was hers. She began introducing herself as my daughter's mother, telling people she raised her, that she taught her everything, that she's the reason my daughter is so smart and well-behaved. It wasn't just small bragging. She fully stepped into a maternal role and erased me in the process. Meanwhile, my relationship with her had become tense, strained, practically non-existent. And then, in 2021, my father passed away from COVID. It was one of the most painful moments of my life. MIL never once reached out to check on me. Not once. Instead, she called my mom to offer condolences, a woman who had a full circle of people around her. I was the one who uprooted my life to care for her, to be her support system. But I had no one looking out for me. MIL even shared my dad's GoFundMe with a caption, "Please pray for my granddaughter's other grandmother during this time." She didn't even mention me. Not one word. That betrayal is something I've never been able to shake. Fast forward to a month and a half ago, I finally exploded. Everything I'd held inside for years came out. It started when my daughter had her ballet recital. I was waiting at the side of the stage to give her a hug, a kiss, something after she got her medal, just a moment between mother and daughter. And Mael ran in front of me, rushed her off stage, and stole that moment. Then she posted on social media thanking everyone who came, tagging people, making it all about herself and her husband, and saying how happy they were that so many people came to support her grandchild. No mention of me. Again, I snapped. I told her how she smothers me, how she erases my role as my daughter's mother, how she ignores my other 2 children because they're not biologically hers. I laid it all out. We ended up having a sit-down conversation afterward. She said some incredibly cruel, cutting things. And that's when I realized something I hadn't wanted to admit. My fiancé is just like her. He doesn't show emotion, but when he's angry, he'll say exactly the right thing to hurt you the deepest. He gets that from her. And he watches her do it to me over and over, and says nothing. After that, I brought my daughter home full-time. The talk ended on a fake good terms moment. I told her I wanted a better relationship, and she acted like she did too. I started trying again. I made efforts. I did the things she said she wanted. I gave her another chance. Then came the family trip. I was so hopeful. I told my fiancé in the car on the way that I thought this trip might actually bring us all closer. I thought maybe it would finally seal the bond, ease the tension. But the second we got there, she ignored us, treated us like we didn't exist. She kept saying how much she wished her husband's son had been her son. She didn't speak to me unless it was forced. She didn't take any pictures with me or my 2 children. The only pictures she took were with her biological grandchildren. She begged me to ask my kids' dad to take them so they wouldn't feel left out, then ignored them anyway. They stood off to the side while she fawned over her husband's grandkids and my daughter. I felt sick watching it happen. But the worst part was when she treated me like garbage the few times we did interact. Her tone, her words, her energy. It was all so bitter and demeaning. Then came the boat trip. We had rented a boat for snorkeling. In the group chat before the trip, I made it very clear I cannot swim. It's something I'm deeply afraid of. My BIL's girlfriend also can't swim, so we decided to wait with the little kids while the others snorkeled, then go in when our partners got back. They gave us this weird flotation belt thing that clips around your waist. I asked for an actual life jacket, but I was pressured to just use it. I got into the water, and it immediately flipped me around like a rotisserie chicken. I couldn't control myself. I started spinning and panicking. I tried to grab onto my FIL. He pushed me away. My MIL stood on the boat and laughed, saying, "Look at this girl," like I was some kind of joke. I was drowning. No one helped. I inhaled and swallowed so much water. Meanwhile, when my BIL's girlfriend, who hadn't even touched the water yet, decided she didn't want to go in, the entire family rushed to comfort her, to make her feel safe. I got nothing. I got out of the water, found my fiancé, covered my face with a towel, and cried my eyes out. I was humiliated, hurt, traumatized. He was angry, but not at them. No. He never says anything to his mom unless she insults him. When it comes to me, he always brushes it off. That's just how she is. Or he'll flip the conversation and bring up things my mom did instead of acknowledging the problem with his. He refuses to set boundaries with her. He never defends me. He allows her to speak about me like I'm a bad mother. He watches her pretend to be our child's mom and says nothing. I've tried for 5 years to make peace, to play nice, to be part of their family. But I'm done. The boat incident was the final straw. I almost drowned while they laughed. That wasn't the first time I'd been humiliated or excluded, but it will be the last. Now, I want to go completely no contact. I don't want to send my daughter, or any of my children, back to her house. But my fiancé says he doesn't want to keep the kids from her. He doesn't get it. He doesn't see how unsafe I feel, how emotionally destroyed I am by everything she's done, and everything he's allowed her to do. So, am I the a-hole for wanting to walk away from this engagement and take my children away from a woman who will never see me as enough? Or should I just keep the peace and accept that this is what being in his family means?